Welcome back, everybody, and thank you all so much for joining the After Earth crew in our crazy, wacky campaign. This is Duck, aka Rainlow, and joining me today is the Modern Viking, aka Michaeleen.
Hey, how's it going? Michaeleen of Kaitala. It is a pleasure to see you all again.
Boo, aka Count Eiko.
Hello, it's good to be back. And
What?
Siren, aka Estrella, or Estrella. Sorry.
Hi, it's nice to see all of you again. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Nate Drago, aka Kain.
Kain yeah, I don't know what was going on with Eiko. I think he's losing it.
Again.
And Ace Daredevil, aka Abe.
Hey guys, it's great to see you. Abe Volt. Nice to meet you all again.
And our wonderful and kooky DM, Salt. Take it away.
Greetings, all, one and all. When we last left off our entering party, they were in the garden of the King of Veril, Malric's garden. They were invited there and stuff to talk about a military contract that the king implored Abe about.
Which Abe was kind of a dick.
To put simply.
And then Eiko put him in his spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eiko gave very strong words of wisdom to Abe, where he would, and Abe proceeded to back off from rubbing the king's nose in his mistake at the gala. That happened a week prior. And when we last left,
I played a song for a princess.
yes, as
Yeah, the
Michaeleen-
princess questioned me.
Rainlow did nothing but eat.
Was the only, and she was the only one in the garden that was not scared of you, more so curious and fascinated by you. Oh, the way the garden was kind of set up and stuff is that the room, this garden is rectangular in shape. I'm gonna say about 150 to 200 feet long by maybe about 80 to 60 feet wide, with a fountain in the middle, like kind of front section of it. Table set up in between that, and then on the other side of that is a bit of a mortar made up. It was said earlier, kind of like an obelisk but bigger and stuff, as like a bit of a statue,
Obelisk.
but not super high, with some carvings and some details on it and stuff that no one looked at last session.
Hey, we were all distracted.
It was okay, and Renlo was nomming half the food off the table.
Mowing the fuck down because they
That
were
sounds
able
about right.
to.
So
I'd
I'm
say
just-
by now, at least Eiko is signing paperwork with the king that he now owns like a good plot of land in his kingdom.
Wait, hold on. Didn't you already
Yeah.
own like an island?
yeah, but he got
Yeah.
more land from this.
He got more land because aristocracy.
Now I'm a Vicomte.
And you're a marquise instead of a count now.
Yeah, he's a marquis.
A marquis, yeah.
Marquis, baby.
A marquis Eiko.
As opposed to Marquis de Carabas.
Indeed.
Well, it's not going to be
Oh,
Count
what?
Eiko for much longer, that's for sure.
Marquis up on these nuts. I'm sorry.
What is everyone doing at least, or
Renlo, good news. When I eventually die, you're in the will. This land will be going to you.
Damn, not even leaving shit for your kids. Sounds about right.
Fuck the
Oh, no, they
kids!
get the-
Everything
they
goes
get the
goes to the
manna. They get
fucking
an island.
kobold.
They get an
Renlo-
island. What are you talking about?
Renlo has become Ayako's kid. He's just adopted.
Yeah, no,
her.
this is my second chance at being a father.
It's not
I'm not
going
even
very
mad.
well, is it?
I just like all the benefits I get from it.
if you
And this
want,
old man's pretty cool.
Eiko, the king's right here. He could possibly call a deal for adoption paperwork.
No. You're in
Rainlow,
my will. That's enough.
would you be able to help me tweak the voice modulator a little bit?
I have returned and hopefully I will be done for the evening.
So I basically relayed out the garden. So the garden itself is about 150 feet to 200 feet long by 60 to 80 feet wide. In the front half of it, closest to the way you came in, is a fairly large fountain that's square shaped that's trickling down. On the other end of it is a stone structure and stuff that was put there deliberately. Kind of statuesque, but not a large raised platform with a few things on top of it. At least in decorations all the way around. In between those two things was the table that was set up for the meeting, which once was piled to the brim with food, but now it's about maybe that much food remaining on top of the table.
She eats like Kirby.
Beautiful. Just fucking vacuum suction cups down.
Insert vacuum sound PNG.
All I can picture is the Patrick fucking when he sucks up all the fucking Krabby Patties.
That's just Rainlow when they're able to eat as much food as they're allowed.
Anywho, so what is everyone's character doing? I think Eiko was signing some paperwork.
I believe Michaeleen and I are probably going to go look for Willow.
Yeah, the Dryad. Well, I was going to talk to the princess about Willow.
Bugs, what do you want?
Well, what would you like to say? Ask then. Actually, Raven, would you be interested in possibly doing a touch of voice acting, by any chance? Because I would like to have someone do the voice for the princess so she sounds nice, at least.
We can do it in both.
What kind of voice do you want the princess to have? Is it soft and lilting, or does she sound a bit more grounded in reality? Does she sound well read?
Just have Boo do it. It'll be totally fine. I promise.
Have me do it?
Please no.
I'm the princess. Hello.
Hello. I am the princess. Wonderful to meet you.
Hey, I'm the princess. I'm only 13 years old, and I speak the fairy language. Yeah,
Great to meet you. Let's talk about the fucking politics of this world. I'm 10 fucking years old. I know all of the fucking policies. Let's talk about the demographics.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll plug that particular chair again when we come to it. Anyway, back focus and stuff. So, what exactly are you asking Elizabeth?
Can you give me a recap of the info about what she gave us on Willow? She was a elder dryad or something?
I think that was more so above board. All I remember is basically just mentioned her name, at least.
No, we did a lot more than that. We learned she was a dryad.
Well, no,
we could not hear you.
I think the way it panned out was essentially she just mentioned her name, Willow at least. Michaeleen's character put two and two together. She knows Sylvan. She's like learning various things of that nature and stuff. And then she mentions type of tree as a person. One thing leads to another and stuff. Because the way Michaeleen learned Sylvan was via Amelia, who was also a dryad. So
I was 90% sure he already asked if she was a dryad, but
he did. And
Okay,
is Willow the princess's teacher or something?
basically not a non-official tutor, at least.
I guess Michaeleen would ask the princess. I would very much like to meet this Willow. There's something I want to ask her about.
Very well
I would
then.
also like to meet her. She knows about the shadow plane, so
Very well then. Follow me. How was that?
I think we need to have a situation where it's like how I do it with
Make a voiceover.
Kezes.
I'll set the lyrics and stuff. She is speaking and replying in Sylvan. When you ask, like, how do you ask it? Common tongue or Sylvan?
I guess I asked it in Sylvan.
Okay. She does get rather giddy when you ask about that. Oh, we'd be very glad, but she kind of she kind of glances over her shoulder at Reese and stuff, and then proceed back to you, kind of like waving you a little closer and stuff.
He leans down and one of his ears gives a little flick, like a cat does.
Well, unfortunately, I would love to take you there, but she kind of glances towards Reese again and stuff. A certain snake lady doesn't like it when I leave the palace.
fuck that snake lady.
You don't hear this. All you hear is Sylvan.
It's in Sylvan. You can't hear.
Damn it! I said last time. Stop speaking of fucking Sylvan.
Above board. Above board.
Above board what?
So,
Above board.
Mick, continue. You were gonna say something, Mick?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll just reset the scene then. Well, a particular snake lady doesn't like it when I leave the palace.
This snake lady, is she a palace guard or something?
She glances at Reese again. And then
It's
back.
Reese. Reese is the snake lady.
Oh, you gotta forgive me, man. Last session I was
It's okay.
barely here.
Pieces.
It's okay. So Reese is basically a pure blood Yuan-Ti. So
I had one of those as a pet.
She has Yuan-Ti, basically snake blood running through and stuff, but she's human-ish enough to get in places.
Right.
Again.
Okay.
Well, Elven-esque enough.
There's got to be something I can do to.
Michaeleen's going to ask in Sylvan to the princess.
Does she speak Sylvan? Can she understand us right now?
No one in the palace speaks Sylvan besides me. And the only other person I knew who didn't speak Sylvan is, well, Miss Willow. But now I know of another person that speaks Sylvan. Instead of smiling rather warmly at you, at least. Everyone before I met you, at least, believed I was just jabbering about, out making nonsense, but I was speaking clear as day, but no one understood me. Ramblings of a young child, I guess.
I want to see where I have in my possession. I have in my possession a sapling that germinated from the remains of another dryad. My mother.
She kind of blinks at that, kind of taking a few. What? She kind of looks at you a bit more closely and stuff, like examining you.
She
So
was
you're.
she was not my birth mother. She was the she was the owner and headmaster at the Gaitalas. At her. I'm just so scatterbrained tonight. I'm sorry, guys.
You're good.
Can we cut this part out?
Yeah.
No, let's keep it in for the funny.
Michaeleen, go post a nut real quick. Get some post nut clarity in your brain.
No.
Do we
Plus
need
the
to
10
send you
seconds.
some videos?
Bruh.
No.
We got
Eiko?
plenty.
No,
Eiko?
please don't.
Look, we have plenty of
Let's
content.
not derail
Or,
today.
sorry, Nate has plenty
Stop
of content
derailing
stored on his
everything.
computer.
Anyway,
Let's
Not
not
on my
derail.
computer.
Anyway, so
Miria was she was the caretaker at her orphanage in Kaitala before
Where's my
I
phone?
lost her. Thanks.
What the fuck is my phone?
I have heard of Kaila, and the Dryad did run an orphanage there, but if I'm correct, it no longer is there. She asks, like, in the sense of, like, trying to be respectful, but also genuine curiosity.
Michaeleen looks down at the ground, his brows furrowing in smoldering anger. It's not a
Sorrow.
blazing fire, but it's like an ember of anger when he thinks back to it. It was burned down, and everyone inside slaughtered by a man who attended the gala 2 days ago.
Above table, I wanted to say I cut her in two.
No, it wasn't you.
No, remember I cut her the corpse in half. The wood
That was
doll.
the hollow. That was the hollow you cut in half.
I was
Yes.
the one who cut that thing in half. I dealt the final blow.
Did you?
Anyway, that's neither here nor there at this point. And so, I see. Well, I understand loss. I can understand loss of a family member as well.
Did she catch the part where he said that she and everyone else was killed by someone who attended the gala?
She heard that. She heard that and stuff, but she's more so focusing on the hurt that you're feeling. I can understand the feeling of loss. She kind of looks over to that concrete decoration thing. Like, I'm trying not to give away what it is, at least.
It's a gargoyle or something or other. It's a fucking statue. I mean,
Is it a statue of a person doing this with their hands?
No.
With wings.
Fucking, what's it?
Weeping angel.
Weeping angel.
Obelisk. It's an obelisk.
No, we're done with the obelisks.
We're not going to knock the
I'm not
obelisk down.
making that. I'm not making a joke. It's
better. Okay. So now that I pointed attention to it, I'll describe it better and stuff for whoever looks over at this current moment in time.
Obviously, Michaeleen's going to look over as she does.
You proceed to look at this. It is a stone rectangular structure, about raised platform. It is maybe about 4 feet wide. About maybe 4 feet wide. I know, probably more like 3. Anyway, 3 feet wide, by about 5 feet long. It raises up directly in front, comes up to a slight tier, and then levels off. There seems to be some kind of carving on stuff of what looks like to be a stone body, what seems to be a knight laid on top. up. And directly on like the foot, where the foot on the flat side at least rests a plaque. At least, which if read, and seems okay, got ya. Anyway, sorry. Anyway,
Just listen
the
to the
plaque
sound of
reads,
silence.
the plaque simply reads, "Here lies Simon Gallowhorn, the second prince of Volmir, second prince of not Volmeria.
Oof.
No, that's continent.
It's not Mandex.
Viril, second prince of Viril." And looking at it and stuff, you can most certainly tell that this is a child's grave or memorial. And you can see the design of it now. There, it looks like to be what looks like to be a stone sword resting basically at the foot of it. That is sized perfectly for a about 11-year-old child.
Damn, that
Damn.
sucks. This is only about a couple 100-year-old country. And shit's fucked.
Michaeleen, his expression softens, and he puts a hand on her shoulder and, still in Sylvan, replies, "Thank you. And I too understand the loss of a brother. I lost all three of mine. I'm sorry."
She you can kind of see and stuff just looking back. She's like doing her best to hold herself together, but a degree of tears are slightly forming at least. And yeah, thank you. Just unfortunately, I kind of lost my other one as well. Referring to Eric with that particular statement.
Who's Eric?
Eric is the eldest son of Merrick's children. He's the eldest.
So the Crown Prince.
Crown Prince, yes, he's the Crown Prince. And that knowledge, at least, I think at this point she is speaking in common because it's like speaking Sylvan, she kind of has to focus on Spain, and she's just speaking plainly at this point.
Michaeleen, it's like it's second nature for him.
Yeah. Anyway, Kain, when you hear this and stuff, when you heard that phrase, you put two and two together and stuff and realize, kind of starting put when you hear that phrase come from Elizabeth, you kind of put two and two together slightly and realize maybe that's the reason why Eric was so like almost pissed off at you before even meeting you, at least just looking at you.
Gotcha.
She kind of shakes her head a little bit and stuff. Her eyes still very lightly wet, but just kind of doing her best just to be, again, kind of putting on a smile at the moment. But again, I've wept plenty on this. There's no need to add more tears to the bucket. So, and she is swapped back over to Sylvan. At least, so you want to meet Miss Willow?
Indeed, yes. I have questions about the sapling. I've been giving it I've been giving it magic from my...
I have no idea what you're talking about, but before I can even take it to Miss Willow, we have to get past, well, old, leather lips.
Can I use illusion magic to kind of make us foof?
One moment. I'm sorry, I have to use the loo.
Above board while he's gone. If
Estrella, get her involved with distracting her.
Yeah.
We've got other players. Utilize it
Rainbow is
more.
literally just fucking off, walking around, doing whatever, possibly eating plants they shouldn't.
That's Renlo who's doing, or Retlo. No.
That's
yeah,
Renlo.
Renlo who's doing that, and Reyna is doing what exactly?
Well, no, they're together right now.
Oh, they're fused?
Usually if they're making public appearances, they're fused. So Rainlow is them together. So
and
they,
Eiko...
yeah.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, it's okay. They're just together more often than not, just because that's just how they default.
Okay,
Okay,
and Eiko's basically finishing up with signing and with basically getting some new property.
So then.
New property.
New property in the real.
Some new property.
Getting property.
Buying
I like
it
getting
cheap
property.
down low.
It's a gift because my friend was almost assassinated.
Beetlejuice sounding ass.
Shit, why did I get shit?
Look,
My
because of
brother
the
was the one who was
assassination,
assassinated.
you get an extra 20% off.
Where's my gift? He's my brother. What the what?
Nah, you ain't get shit. Familiar connections mean nothing in this business.
Yeah, besides, I was the one who was like really pushing to get land. You weren't pushing to get anything.
I was pushing to get through the crowd.
I really wasn't pushing to get land. I was pushing to get trade routes, but not really land.
Anyway,
I got land and trade routes and fun shenanigans because
fuck your land.
Aristocrat, bitch.
Fuck
anyways,
your land.
So simply, so we know what those people are doing. Are the kobolds doing anything fun or silly at the moment, or are they just still ruminating with all the food they just ate?
So they're probably walking around, not really doing a whole lot. They're just kind of listening in on other conversations, possibly eating plants they're not supposed to in the garden. They're not doing a whole lot at the moment.
Do they speak Sylvan?
Did the kobolds
No.
secretly find out weed?
Do they secretly find some mildly hallucinogenic,
mildly hallucinogenic
plants in the garden
that work best when lit on fire?
Stuck under their tongue.
We're not hinting at anything.
Anyway, so you know what? Roll me a quick perception check, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Perception check. Did you find any weed?
Did you find drugs?
If you wanted some, Michaeleen he actually has some.
Perception. Okay, that's
that's it.
No,
it doesn't really work.
You have ones that work for.
Oh yeah, I have some Tabaxi specific weed.
Exactly.
And you will feel comfortably numb when you take my stuff.
Look, maybe I'm wanting to feel particularly numb.
Real. But no, my perception was 15, I think.
15. You barely notice this. So I'm gonna say Reyna was a bit busy, just kind of looking. Actually,
They're
no.
together. They're
Yeah,
together.
they're together and stuff. But the two personalities are kind of
Oh yeah.
same signal.
They can literally multitask. Think of two
Yeah, they can.
different things at once.
The Retlo personality and stuff is a bit too busy focusing on plans, looking for stuff. Reyna, on the other hand, here's a degree of like movement kind of coming down. So this pathway has a big long hallway that's kind of opened up to it. That if you go to either end of it, so basically fountain side is the way you came in on. And stuff, and it's on the left-hand side of this room. So you have the big garden right here. The hallway's directly on the other side, on this side of it. Fountain up here, memorial down here. And you hear sound coming from this way.
Oh, okay. Then they're gonna go ahead.
Perk up and check out that.
Yeah, they're gonna perk up, probably start heading that way just because they're bored and they want some kind of interaction.
Yes. As you proceed to head that way, Estrella, you notice the kobolds moving it towards that particular chunk of the way as well, and you follow suit just to make sure nothing wrong happens. At least.
Where are you going, Rendo?
Wherever the voices take me. You know, the voices.
Yes, the voices. Do you mind if I tag along with you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Alright.
So then, as you guys proceed to travel forward and such, you end up starting to cross the hallway, but then as you kind of cross into the hallway to travel down and stuff, you immediately see that the hallway you guys take to get in stuff, there's a secondary hallway that leads directly into it that turns around, and you see what looks like to be a half, let me get my reference sheet here, or notepad. Wait, no. Not Simon Gallahorn, but Simon Lionheart. I got the names mixed up. Anyway,
whatever.
But you see a half-elf person proceeding to cross the corner and stuff. He's fairly shortish. Looks like to be a young person.
Okay.
He looks maybe like 13, 14-ish, more likely on the 14 side. And he has a pair of spectacles on his head and has his hair done up in a very simple top knot, at least. Very simple top knot. And he's wearing like very light blue robes. At the moment, he has a satchel on one side and he's kind of like eyeing around, holding a notepad, since this looks good at the moment from the way I'm seeing it from my cam. Anyway, and it's like he spots you and like mid babbling to himself about something, but then just sees Renlo. Pops at you and runs away.
Not that scary. Oh, come back, dude.
Fucking
what?
Bolts after him.
Wait,
I want you to know. Go ahead.
What just ran from Renlo again? A cat?
No,
a 14-year-old half-elf boy runs away and stuff. He has like blue robes, kind of wizardly-esque, has glasses on, has satchel, looks like to be maybe student.
So not a cat, but a rat.
Possibly taller than me, because Rainlow together is 5'2".
So he's a ratkin?
He's sitting maybe 5'3", so just an inch taller.
Yeah, no, he's a half elf. He's a half elf, guys.
He's a half elf.
Oh.
He's a rat in the figurative sense.
Figuratively rat.
So he looks like a nerd.
Yes, a nerd. That's a good way to put it.
He's a nerd.
Anyway,
like the nerdiest.
The second he saw Renlo and stuff, he proceeds to puppy Yui and run away. Hey, and Renlo's chasing after him.
Dude, I'm not that fucking scary. Wait a minute.
As he's running down
I just want to talk to you.
And as you guys chase down, so maybe for about like 30 feet, then all of a sudden, And you see what looks like to be a hobgoblin walk like out from a doorway and stuff, and the half-elf kid like plows into him, and as he kind of just like spins around and stuff, as he kind of as the half-elf lands on the floor and stuff, books and scrolls going everywhere. Or at least he's you recognize the hobgoblin as Vander Strahhollow, which is the personal magician of Malric. Percy, how many times have I told you not to run on in the palace halls? Oh, you can always hurt someone, and with our particular line of work, you and I might be carrying something that might be volatile and stuff up, and you know what dangers that into. Sorry, Vander. And I saw a kobold in the palace, so I ran. He proceeds to turn in the direction.
Oh, cheeky wave.
Percy.
Hey, Vander.
Huh. Percy, I say, that is our guest of the king currently. Percy just kind of looks up and stuff, kind of like...
Just his face pale?
A little bit, yes. They're a guest? Yes, they are. Now get off the ground stuff and pick up your books.
Randall's gonna try to help pick up some of the like papers and scrolls and stuff. Be like,
I told you it wasn't this fucking scary, dude.
just subtly looking at the papers because I'm a curious little being.
You notice that they're mainly just practicing materials.
Unfortunate.
Things of that nature.
I wanted to know secrets.
Yeah, nothing particular, at least.
Damn. I thought I could glean secrets from this child.
How old would you say this kid? How old is he again?
13, 14.
Yeah.
He's a kid.
Yeah, he's a kid. Which makes them all the more manipulative, like being able to be manipulated. All the easier to be manipulated to give me information.
It's fucked up, but you're not wrong.
I know. It is definitely fucked up, but you can definitely get information from the youngins. So
anyway, so
has Estrella caught up with me?
Yeah, she caught up right as you turn the corner and stuff, she's like right behind.
Okay. That's okay.
She's deafened.
Again.
It is what it is. We'll continue on.
Anyway, repaint the scene real quick. This can be edited out for ease of use. You see the kid, 14-year-old half-elf kid wearing blue robes and glasses, proceed to plow into Vander Strahhollow, that hobgoblin magical dude, advisor to Malric, our king of the place you're currently at. And he basically scolds the boy. You learn that he is... Anyway, you learn that his name is Percy, and by the sounds of it, might have some sort of like partner relationship, teacher-mentor thing going with him and Vander at the current moment. At least.
Okay. I'm helping him pick up the shit that flew everywhere.
Yeah. And nothing of note, at least.
Unfortunate.
So. My apologies.
Anyway.
What was your name again? Or names, if I remember correctly?
Oh, I'm Rainlow. You can just call me Rainlow. We're not separate right now, so...
Anyway, my apologies, Rainlow. And though Percy is a student I'm currently tutoring under my wing, and he's a little...
Well, he's a fast little runner! Tell you what!
Well, he has a degree of scaredy cat, but I'm doing my best to work that past. He's naturally talented in magic, so I'm deciding to nurture that as a favor to a old friend of his.
Well, it's okay to be afraid. That's what keeps you alive. Especially mages. Oh, It's what keeps you alive, man.
Yeah, coming from the scaly, Vander kind of shoots him a look. Be respectful. Like, you could just tell himself, like, he shoots him a look and stuff. Be respectful. I mean,
he should be Eiko.
Says the very nice guest that the king has invited.
I'm aware of what I am.
Okay, if he's running from them, is he gonna shit himself when I walk up?
If he sees you, maybe. If he was to see you, probably shit himself.
Well, so how did the meeting go, at least? I heard
I think it went pretty well. I didn't do a whole lot of negotiation. That isn't for me. I ate a bunch, and I got a little bored, and I heard some voices, so I followed them. Not gonna lie. I'm nosy.
Well, Percy kind of mumbles under his breath. Roll me a quick perception check to listen.
Okay, that's a 18.
You hear Percy kind of mumble under his breath. Yeah, says the lizard with the big nose.
You got that fucking schnoz.
You can kind of tell Percy's just kind of clutching his book at the moment to his chest rather tightly, just kind of sheepish.
Yeah, I have a big nose, but I can hear well too, buddy.
Just turns a little bit red and stuff, kind of like tries to hide his face with his journal.
It's fine. It was funny. Anyway, Vander, what's going on here?
Well, I was just about to head out to the meeting myself to see if Abe was available, but clearly my timing was impeccable. Always cleaning up your messes, aren't I, Percy? Vander, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best, just it's difficult at times. Percy, how many times have I told you? Don't be sorry. Just be better.
That's fucked up. You're a dick.
Kids will be kids. They'll make mistakes. And you're going to make so many more mistakes when you're an adult. They're just going to be even worse, and the consequences are going to kick your ass.
They'll just curse you for 18 years.
Anyway, shall we head back towards the garden then?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sorry I scared you, buddy. You just looked interesting to talk to, and then you ran away from me, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't, attacking anybody, because if you said I was attacking somebody, then it'd be a whole situation, and then the king would have to say sorry again, so...
Anyway, everyone, Percy, Vander, and the other party members proceed to start making their way back.
Mm-hmm.
Edit out. Estrella, anything you want to chime in?
You were with her?
Yeah, I was with them, but nothing. I don't think so.
I forgot I have Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids.
Sour, sweet.
Oh, fuck!
I do want to ask. By now, would you say I've made the official? We've signed the deal and made it official.
Your paperwork has been signed and taken care of, Eiko.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Wonderful, wonderful.
By the end of this, my goal is I'm going to become God, a king, or a devil.
This shall be a nice steady stream of income for the both of us, Your Highness.
People rejoin in the thing, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Estrella, you just are feeling very nervous, at least, and you simply... when you re-enter the garden and stuff, you look for Reese, which you know is the royal guard, and you think to yourself that it's probably your best way to get out of here politely with all P's and Q's. At least. You proceed to, I presume, walk over?
Are they nearby?
Yeah, they're in the garden stuff, standing next to the king.
Estrella finds a place to sit down. She begins writing a note for the rest of the party.
Okay. There. After Eiko finishes his paperwork, at least the Malric is talking to Colden, a servant and stuff, who's he's currently chatting about forms and paperwork lined out so that we can get everything lined out for you.
I'm not sure you're aware. Dare is not there.
He might have his earbuds on, his headphones still on.
You still have my headphones on, yes.
Yeah, so he heard this entire thing.
I am
So
up to date,
he always
yes.
hears. He might not reply. He always hears. He might just not reply.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, Vander notices this and proceeds to walk over and just start up a bit of conversation. So, Abe, you work with a great deal with technology, as I can see. Any particular... You get very much intrigue and stuff, Vander and stuff, in your particular line of work and stylings of research you go into.
All right, then I engage in a deep conversation into the basic principles of thermonuclear reactivity as well as the intricacies of robotics.
He proceeds to writing down notes and jotting down various things to look into.
And it goes right over his head.
As he's
probably does.
As he's saying this, is Snake Lady kind of trying to follow along?
I think Snake Lady wasn't.
She's more so just kind of standing next to the king and stuff, making sure that everything stays safe. And she's kind of deliberately placed herself between Dare and the king with the stunt he pulled earlier.
I definitely wasn't an asshole. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, no, this guy, the guy I'm talking to probably is like literally like eyes are spinning in fucking circles as we are now talking about like theoretical relativity.
It's like he's very much confused, but it's more so intrigued confusion stuff. Like he's writing down notes, the general ideas what you're mentioning and stuff. And
tell what the fuck he wrote down later.
Anyway, he's doing his best to keep track and stuff. Like you can tell he doesn't understand very much of it and stuff, but he's like curious on it. And you feel like if he had a better understanding of it, he would be able to kind of keep a rough pace with you. Like you're sprinting laps around him and stuff, but he could keep a rough pace with you.
Boring.
Anyway,
above board, I need to figure out a way to sneak off with the princess to meet her teacher.
Me too.
I was gonna say, one of you was looking for fucking fun times.
I'm looking to meet her teacher.
I'm looking to learn shit why she knows about the shadow plan.
Anyway, while this is all happening, Estrella, what do you do next?
Keep your mind out of that.
Note.
I go to the guard. What was her name again?
Reese.
I go up to Reese and I hand the letter to her. Could you see to that Michaeleen and the others get this letter, please?
I guess no one overhears this. It will be done.
Thank you. In her coil glamour, Estrella looks for the nearest window to jump out of.
The window?
It's a hobby.
Defenestration.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's a hobby.
Anyway, you proceed to walk basically out you basically proceed to walk out of the garden the same way you came in, and vanish. Vanish. No one, none the wiser to this. Everyone busy in their own endeavors. Anyway. Would Abe be perceptive of this right now, or is he too busy in deep talk?
I would say so, because he's kind of bored by his own company.
Sure, roll me a perception check.
He's like, well, I roasted this man's brain. I'm bored.
This dude doesn't even understand the intellectual principles of the relative theory. Honestly, there is so much better shit that I could be doing with my time. God damn it, where is my fucking D20s? Here's one.
Did you sit on them, sir?
No! They're just all in a bag.
No.
I want to say Michaeleen and the princess are brainstorming on ways to sneak past the guard and get to our teacher.
Kain can sneak pretty easy.
Would I
but-
also be able to make a perception check because Rainlow and Estrella just like were
Sure.
together?
Well,
Oh, that was a nat 1.
you notice nothing. Like,
My eyes
You
are
can't
closed,
even-
actually. Just
Yeah, pretty much.
No. It's
You're
like you
legally
barely-
blind?
Okay, no. You proceed to start turning your head right about look for shot, but then all of a sudden a butterfly comes out of nowhere and catches your attention.
Oh yeah, yeah. I might
that a
eat
hot
that
air
fucking
balloon?
butterfly.
You proceed to chase the butterfly down a little bit.
You know what? I'll. Can I roll a? Crap, would it be perception?
Sure. It's going
All
from
right, I get to use.
everyone noticing it.
Whenever you're ready, my perception check was a 21.
Okay. So
Mixed perception,
Wait, are we all rolling fucking perception checks?
I guess.
I just knew I could.
I'm too
because
lazy to get up and get
the
a die. I'm gonna
plotline
roll
of
it via
me
the
being
computer.
next to her.
it's okay. You don't have to roll a perception check right now.
I got a 12.
You notice nothing. You're too busy focusing on that. Anyway, so I'm going to say,
That's a 10.
Abe, Abe, you do manage to figure out, or you do notice itself, Estrella walking out the front door the same way you came in, at least.
Okay, can I follow?
If you'd like. You proceed to take a few steps forward and stuff. Do you excuse yourself before you?
Manners, yes, we are at a garden party. I will excuse myself.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have some important matters to deal with.
Why don't we just ask the king, honestly? Like, hey, can we meet this chick? We have questions we gotta ask.
Anyways,
Like, why bother sneaking? Just be like, hey.
the king, Marrow and substance. Yeah, it will be a moment and stuff before the paperwork's ready. Feel free to take your time. I'm to do what you need to do. Anyway, he proceeds to focus on getting paperwork lined out and draw it up. You proceed to walk behind Estrella, and you follow her right behind as she kind of exits kind of the front entrance way you took.
Going somewhere?
Estrella stiffens. Yes.
It seems
Go ahead.
it seems as if you're in a hurry.
I was hoping the guard would have given you my letter.
It seems I beat him to it then.
Her.
Her to it then. Are you leaving the group for now?
There were people from the House of Montague during that party. Those gunshots, the riot that was happening, that was no accident. And I believe you might be a touch safer.
I had a feeling. I
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I merely have a proposition for you. I know that you left the whole spy thing behind. Would you be willing to be an informant for a friend?
Which friend? We have a handful.
Well, us, the party. Anything you learn or notice any large changes or anything like that, just let us know. That way we can be prepared as well.
You're going to have to be quite perceptive, as I'm going to make sure that the messages I do leave are for your eyes only. I'll
I
leave a
understand.
calling card. I'm
I
sorry
understand.
about it. I'm sorry about everything.
No, I wish you could have traveled with us longer. But we appreciate the company that you gave us while you did.
I appreciate the company as well. Please take care of the... Give me a sec. Estrella looks at Abe and she smiles. Please take care of the rock egg. I'd bring it with me, but I don't want anything to happen to it, and make sure that Michaeleen gets the letter. I meant the letter for all of you, but make sure that he gets it. And I will do my best to keep an eye out.
I appreciate it. And I do promise that Michaeleen and the egg will both be well taken care of.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I wish you well, Estrella.
I wish you well, and maybe when those of Montague are no longer lurking around here, maybe I'll come back. I don't know yet.
May our paths cross many times more.
I know, Zuck.
Who's got the Velcro?
Bye.
There's a very secret way that you can actually open Velcro without anyone ever hearing it. I
You're
learned
not
this from
doing
a
it, clearly.
guy. It's a very simple way. He learned this in Vietnam. Listen. Ah!
It's incredibly stupid.
You never hear the Velcro.
Anyway, so with that, at Abe, you see Estrella simply walk into the courtyard with with people walking around, stuff wagon or two getting moved by, and she almost disappears, like she wasn't even there to begin with, ducking behind people walking around. She knows how to walk in a crowd, even if it's very thin, and simply vanishes with no trace. You simply take a bit of a sigh and proceed to walk back.
Is what it is.
Keep the ground.
Oh, I have a question. You know how Ryan Love was chasing that butterfly?
Yeah.
Can I trip, fall on my face, and get Reese to laugh? Because that would be fantastic.
You know what? I think she has noticed you kind of chasing the butterfly around, and the butterfly itself is like dark blue rings, almost like jet black blue, with like purple spots.
Ooh, pretty.
And roll me a quick perception check on the butterfly itself.
That's a 14.
You notice what looks like to be like you kind of squint at it and stuff. Like it lands on like a flower for like 2-3 seconds before you spook it again. But it wings close and then proceeds to open, and you look at it, and for damn near for a few seconds, it looks like it makes up like a purple eye almost, like with the purple spots and things. Just it looks a little scary and intimidating, but butterfly must eat.
It's pretty. It's pretty. It might be poisonous, but it's pretty, and I need to eat it. Let's eat it.
So
it might be poisonous. Let's eat
butterfly
it.
and chase it a bit more, and Reese is kind of noticing. Roll me. Anyway, let me know when you are available to. Brain dead. Roll me a attack. Use dexterity since you're basically kind of jumping at this thing, trying to grab it.
Okay, Dex.
Yeah.
That's an 8. That's an 8.
Okay, I'm going to proceed to give it to you, but it's like Renlo, you proceed to like jump and dive at it and stuff, but you completely misgauge and stuff with your hand placement and everything, but you proceed to land directly on top of it, mouth open, and you feel like fluttering your mouth and stuff before you kind of like accidentally just swallow it with no chewing.
Oh my, she has butterflies in her stomach.
Literally.
Yeah, you feel the butterfly, like you feel something like moving around in your stomach and stuff, but then all of a sudden, like it slows down, then just stops.
Yeah. Just beats chest, burps, moves on.
Burps, 2 wings, just
yes.
No, not full wings and stuff. Like 2 wing bits proceed to fly out.
Yeah.
Like Renlo proceeds to grab all of them, pops it back in their mouth, and eats it.
Yes. Delicious.
I feel like we don't need you. We found it. He's here.
Anyways, so with that, Reese genuinely kind of like shakes her head, but kind of giggles slightly and stuff.
Excitement.
Yeah. So, anyway, Michaeleen, you notice this? I'm gonna say you notice this, Kain, and you pick it up on it as well. And you proceed to take this opportunity and stuff to try to make a move for your plan to get.
Kane's gonna turn into a puddle and slither away.
Turning one into a good distraction, guys.
Kane's gonna turn into a puddle and go.
Michaeleen, how you getting Elizabeth out?
Oh, that's right. I remember I relearned how to cast invisibility. So I guess I can cast invisibility on her and flip up my cloak.
Like, do it your own way, but could you essentially just say, hey, do I have your permission to pick you up? Or something like that nature.
Okay.
I would have still just asked the damn king, just be like, hey, can we talk to this chick?
How would you like, in Sylvan he says, how would you like to go for a piggyback ride?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so he gets her up and he just like flips his cloak over her and
I think the way I want to do it is the cloak is kind of underneath her and stuff. You just flip your hood, but then as the invisibility kind of goes from the hood down, it kind of goes over the top of her as well. And kind of creeps over. At least. You proceed, make me an acrobatics check real quick.
acrobatics. That is a 16 plus acrobatics, 8.
God damn.
16, 17, 18, 22, 23, 24.
Yeah, you make it. So you proceed to, okay, you succeed on that. Hey,
You're the dexterous boy.
yeah. So anyway, so Kain and Michaeleen, you two communicate and stuff, and basically agree to basically meet on the nearest wall. So I'm gonna say the big wall that was right next to you guys, kind of sealing off the pathway. You guys basically agreed to get on the other side of it. You whip your way up on top and then get over it, and Kain finds a few holes in the wall and just slithers on through.
With Michaeleen's grappling hook gauntlets and Kane's ability to turn into a black ooze, it's literally Spider-Man and Venom.
Anyway, you guys proceed to make it out. Okay. Michaeleen, you as you're kind of flipping, going through and going around, it's like you're a little excited, but then you realize what you're actually doing for half a second.
I'm kidnapping a princess.
Hold on, real quick. Dare, are you still awake?
Yes.
Just checking.
Yep.
Anyway, so you decide to radio into your big boss just to give him a heads up on what's going on.
Hey, Abe, just to let you know, the princess invited me to meet her teacher.
Very well.
Somehow Kane's gonna to speak through the little earring.
Well,
he technically kidnapped the princess, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Kidnapping. I had her consent.
Did you have the gods' consent?
Borrowed.
It's okay. I can be.
Michaeleen's.
Hey, I suggested we just ask the king, but you know.
Did you have the gods' consent?
Michaeleen, who are you talking to exactly?
You know the robot guy that was talking to your father. Well, I have an earring that lets me talk to him remotely.
Hello, Sir Abe.
I'm not going to waste air on words that won't reach her ears. Did you get the gods' consent?
Did not.
No.
Then you have kidnapped the princess. All right, I'll smooth it over the king. Have fun.
Just to make you aware, I did not kidnap the princess. It was all him. The monster is innocent.
Okay, above board right now. Dare, how are you doing? Going and stuff.
Fine.
Just a little refresher. Okay, so where exactly is everyone?
So right now, everyone at least
Michaeleen kidnapped the princess.
Yes. You and Abe we're talking with the king, and stuff, doing paperwork. Rentlow ate a butterfly, distracting Reese for half a second. Proceeding, Michaeleen and Kain proceeding to take the opportunity and stuff to essentially kidnap. Technically, kidnap.
No. Michaeleen kidnapped the princess. Kain just turned into a slime and skittered away.
And followed. You are a.
I'm not an accomplice. No.
You are innocent.
I am simply following. I'm simply following. I left first. Technically, Michaeleen followed suit.
And
if you left first, then Michaeleen's following. You're guiding.
Yeah, so
I left first because I could turn. You're the main culprit. I'm just a dude who's happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Anyway, you're seen to do that. At least, Abe. Anyway, so Abe, you proceed to walk back at least to the table. I'm gonna say you get this right as you walk back in. Is when you get this message and stuff. So you proceed to walk over to the king at least as he's having a bit of some degree lighter conversation with Eiko.
So I said, that wasn't a sock. That was my mother's bra. And he still tried to put it on.
Man, I didn't know. Oh, my new marquis would be such a jester.
When you're old, everybody becomes a jester. Just you wait.
That I shall.
You hear from a distant area. He makes for a good punching bag.
No.
I quit. Goodbye.
Hey, you proceed to walk up, at least.
Your Majesty,
Yes?
I do regret to interrupt such riveting conversation, but your daughter has decided to take an adventure with some of our party. I do hope that's all right.
He just kind of sighs. Honestly, I was hoping she would not leave the palace for one day, but it seems like I can never keep her in one place.
It also doesn't
above
seem
board.
like
Teenage girl.
Above board, tell her she's in good hands. Mick's great with kids.
it also doesn't
Hold
seem
on.
like
Sorry, above board. What happened to the last kids you hung around respectfully? Aren't they all gone?
Fuck you! That wasn't my fault!
Wow.
Fuck you!
Look, it doesn't help that they were orphans, but still, jeez, man.
Oh, up in flames, just the same.
Oh my god.
Fuck you!
Damn.
Sound of galloping hooves from above the sky. All of a sudden, you get hit in the back of the head with a rock, taking
I'm slime. I don't take damage, bitch.
damage.
I don't take
I
damage.
do not care.
It's a glowing rock of heavenly origin. It deals
Anyway.
damage to the fly.
Anyway.
Well, Michaeleen takes
Damn.
emotional damage then.
Damn.
I'm not the one who you mean.
Alright, well, shut away your horrific childhood emotions, alright? Now shut the fuck up.
And
All right.
yes. Anyways, Renlo,
Hold on.
as you
He was still
Derek
talking.
was saying something.
yes, my apologies.
Unfortunately, it does seem like they did not inform the guards of this incursion. But I do promise that your daughter is in safe hands. Michaeleen and my brother are with her.
That puts me to ease, at least.
Probably shouldn't have mentioned me, but
Shut up.
Well, I do know where she is going, at least, so I can simply send a troop of soldiers to get her when needed. Please, but the place she does go to is relatively safe, so I know.
Wonderful.
No problem. Renlo,
Yes.
roll me a Constitution check real quick.
Son of a
Oh
bitch.
boy.
is that butterfly poisonous? Well,
20.
actually,
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. As you proceed to walk, your vision starts getting tinted blue.
It's all blue.
As you like take a few steps, everything gets like, why am I walking on a giant pillow? Or is this pudding? But
everything becomes smurfified.
She's on acid.
As you start
Acid
seeing very
butterfly.
dark- as you start seeing very dark purple spots like in your vision, like pop into existence, wiggle very strangely, and then in front of your vision.
no. They're gonna raise their glasses up, like wipe their eyes, just to make sure. And
Once you get done wiping your eyes and stuff, the world that was once kind of lightly wobbling back and forth, all of a sudden, like looked like it just got smeared even more. And
so they're gonna stand there, and kind of wobble, look around, like help.
Renlo, is everything is everything okay?
You see Ren. Okay, Eiko, when you look at Renlo and stuff, you see that they're kind of currently on the ground, just kind of arms and legs just kind of wobbling around, and you see like purple foam coming from their mouth at the moment. And like they're trying to speak, but it's only garbled.
Can I roll a medicine check and see what the fuck is wrong with them?
You know that one scene from Gravity Falls when Mabel has too much of that
the
the sugar paws?
Yeah, the
Yes.
smile bit.
So that's literally Renlo, like.
Super blown pupils.
Yeah, you're tripping balls.
Is Reese laughing at me further because of this? Because that would be fantastic.
She's actually, yeah, put it this way. She did like a like private, just, but now the giggling or chuckling to herself and stuff is a touch louder.
Okay. Slowly. Slowly but surely, we're wooing this lady.
Can I do a medicine check?
Sure.
Cool. Let's find out what we're gonna get. Yeah, I don't know what is wrong with you. That's a 5.
All you put together is foaming of mouth, and foaming is bad.
Hold on. You know what's kind of bullshit? Medicine checks are a wisdom thing and not intelligence. What is up with that?
Common sense. Don't eat the red berries.
Yeah, doctors though.
Do you have a doctorate?
Might as well. I'm a fucking knowledgeable count who's studied things all around the world.
Rainlow's a doctor, and yet
at any one time you had a
does
doctorate.
this.
So you do not have a doctorate.
You know how when you come out of anesthesia, you like don't really know what you're talking about, and you just say the most randomest shit. That's what Rainlow should be doing right now.
Anyway,
did anybody see Rainbow eat anything? I like look over at Rainlow and like I look like an ultra detailed, realistic, freaky lizard. Just like Rainlow, is everything okay? Did you eat anything?
Super ultra fucking
realistic
hyper-realism.
monitor lizard.
With like a fucking unicorn horn.
It's like one of those old SpongeBob gross-ups.
Yes! Oh my god!
Oh, what did you eat?
Or just like puts their paws or hands on Eiko's face and pushes him away. He just
No. Renlo, you tried to do that. You see this really like super detailed lizard and stuff that looks ungodly. Just you proceed to try to put your hands on it and stuff, but as you put your hands on its face, it proceeds to like suck your hands into it and like just feels weird. And it's like you see Renlo like hands on your face, just like
some of their
rubbing all over your face.
Yeah. So very awkwardly rubbing your face. And
Renlo. Your hands, Renlo.
It's just fucking giggling. It's just fucking.
As that happens, we proceed to get back to the thing. The princess. So you proceed to hit the ground, immediately do a fast dash. At least, Kain, you kind of pop out from the ooze running with. Do you want to go to a bit more of a bestial run? And if you do so, I will give you a bit of a speed boost.
Would that be a good idea? I might scare people.
Well,
aren't we invisible?
He is visible. You're not yet, but he can detect you're there roughly. He smells you.
Okay, I'm gonna drop the invisibility, and
I mean, you guys do go over the wood. It's just like immediate woods. Actually, no, small clearing, and then the wood line's like maybe like 20 yards out.
I'm leaping through the trees.
Oh, bet. Okay, yeah. Kane's gonna go a full fucking beast form, just tendrils pulling him through.
Okay. Michaeleen, do you want to hop on top? Of
the bulldozer?
I have Lucy also with me.
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. I'm gonna say Lucy kind of like the second you tossed her on, Elizabeth on your back and stuff. Lucy kind of. Oh,
like you're in my territory.
Yeah, Lucy's kind of giving a degree of like my territory, but being playful.
But when we actually got into that full-on sprint, I'm pretty sure Lucy got onto the princess's back. What is the princess's name again?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Or
Right.
Liz.
Liz.
If you want to just keep, yeah.
There's a lizard on Liz.
And anyway, so then with that, you guys proceed to, anyway, she starts guiding you to the wood grove. The first thing we're going to be looking for and stuff is a large rock with moss. Kind of looks like an old man's head.
Okay.
Can I try and sniff for moss?
Perception check.
Sure.
Perception. That is a natural 20. Fuck yes.
Okay, that proceeds to, you immediately kind of notice that there's a bit of a rocky outcropping in the distance. Rocky outcropping in the distance. Kain, you kind of pick up on what he's looking at and stuff, and you most certainly detect moss in that direction. You guys make it there, and she points you on to the next direction. Back to Renlo for a second.
So I also rolled a nat 20.
Okay, you guys most certainly know where the old man rock is.
How tall are these trees? Because I'm envisioning myself like Naruto jumping through the trees.
Put it this way, the kind of trees and stuff they currently have around there and stuff is like the same stuff we have in Oregon. So lots of pine.
But very large pine trees with long limbs.
So coniferous forests.
Yeah, coniferous forests at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, so I can be jumping through the trees.
Are the branches breaking as Kain runs through?
The branches are high enough up you can actually run underneath them relatively easily. Like the nearest branch to the top of your hands is maybe about like 18 feet up.
All right, I want to swing from the branches like a fucking gorilla.
They will not support your weight. You're gonna have to swing from the trunks. And even so, you're probably going to be ending up bending the trees while you're going.
Anywho, back to Renlo. As you are busy, as your hands are getting fused in with this very detailed lizard's face and all that.
So take your hand off, Renlo.
Eventually, you get to a point where you kind of his face kind of splits in two for your vision, but for that, at least it's their thumbs kind of are stuck in the side of your mouth and stuff before kind of going out and then sliding out as they just kind of on the side of the grounds and stuff just keep mumbling.
Just lays there.
Yeah. But for you at least, what you see, Renlo, is a split down the middle as you see this very clear white stuff around you, like you're almost on clouds on a sense. But then you see the clouds quickly shift from rolling things to waves. As you're almost seeing streams or chords of something. Maybe fibers.
Boy. Man, this is the tamest acid trip I've ever seen.
Wait, am I having a spiritual experience right now? Am I about to see my goddess for the first time in forever?
Yes, Eiko?
If I have an idea of a hallucination they might see while continuously toying with Eiko's face. If you wouldn't mind hopping into private for a really quick second.
Well, I'm kind of doing a bit of a narrative thing at least, but this way.
Fair enough.
Here. I'll hop into 2 seconds real quick. We can say it happens at the end at least when they kind of come down a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to be seeing in your Eiko, you good?
Hold on.
You trying?
There he goes. There he goes. What I want to see?
What do you want to be seeing?
The weirdest fucking colors known to man. I want to see shapes. I want to see people dripping.
You know that abstract art shit?
You know the
But also,
painting
I would
where all
love to
the
have like a
people are-
spiritual experience with my god, like my character's goddess. That would be so fucking cool right now.
Like, you realize you're dying, right? We ate a butterfly.
I hate a butterfly.
Anyway, so Renlo, as you kind of follow on these things and stuff, roll me a. How in tuned with the magic system is your character?
I mean, they are pretty magical. I think I told you how many cantrips. Specifically, Willow had.
With your tweaked out mind, kind of starts recognizing like the cordages that you're seeing that you're riding on, kind of sliding up and down a little bit as the weave itself.
I'm seeing the weave itself. That's fucking cool.
You're in the weave. You're in the weave.
As you're kind of sighing around, you almost feel like you're being pulled into like a location, like you're on like a big ribbon that's going up and down, but then all of a sudden that ribbon gets connected by another wave that's going underneath it, at least. And it's kind of, yours is going up and down while the other one's going like from side to side, which is giving this real motion. Do you want to lean into it or lean against it?
I'm gonna lean into it, dude.
As you lean into it, at least, you kind of get sucked into the new wave that got by. As you go further and further in, you see what look like to be these giant spheres and stuff, incomprehensible to their size, as you see their waves come off, but then you see them lead to what looks like to be a blue circle, or is it a stone? As you focus and peer onto it, you get an you know it's a place, and the name of it is like in the back of your head for a moment. As you start getting visions of these blue gel-like people for a moment, for various things, and you start putting things two and two together. Eiko, you start hearing, Retlo mumbling in her breath. Roll me a perception check to listen because like it's very quiet.
Sure.
And the foaming at the current moment has kind of
19, baby.
plus your perception.
Which is Percepi Weppy. Sorry, I put my sheet on the ground. Perception. So that's 21.
21. You hear the faintest mumblings and stuff. And Ducky, if you can do this and stuff yourself, you are mumbling the name Shangri-La under your like.
Oh.
Shangri-La. Shangri-La.
Which would this not be in her regular voice and not her?
Oh yeah, the
voice,
the fuck around voice. It's just like Shangri-La. It's just the stupid fucking giggles after.
As you go to like reach out and touch this thing and stuff to check it out more, all of a sudden you kind of get like flung millions of miles away from it and stuff. As like you're kind of in a different section. As you look, it's like you feel like you need to sit up, and as you sit up, all of a sudden you see like this short copper or brass, you don't know, Dragon Ball and stuff, just full of piss and vinegar looking at you and stuff. As it kind of spooks you and stuff as you kind of come to for a second. I almost want to say you kind of sit up all of a sudden, headbutting Eiko directly in the face with your own head and stuff, like fists are swinging.
All of a sudden you're speaking French fluently.
No, I'm probably speaking Draconic.
Yeah, just different degrees and stuff. Let me out and bring it on, bitch! I'll fuck you up.
Ow, my head.
I don't want to hurt the blade. I like blades. It's just a baby bird. Just a baby bird? Yeah. Let me at him.
Can I roll the door? Hopefully do a medicine check and just snap them out of this.
Sure.
Oh, it hopped out.
Saying,
hold on.
They were out at least for like a solid like 5 8 minutes.
13. 13.
Okay, you managed to get a bit rougher thing and stuff that they were tripping balls.
Ripping.
Does anybody have water? I need a flask of water. Actually, I have a water skin. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to take out my water skin. I'm just going to,
Guys, I just realized, Eiko, your character doesn't know about. Wait, actually, no. Wait. You went into the portal to Shangri-La and stuff. In the
I
pit,
do know
yes?
about Shangri-La. Yes.
That's when your character learned about it. But beforehand, you had no knowledge of Shangri-La. Or
Yeah,
were you?
I knew about Shangri-La until going there.
Anyway, so you know that. Anyway, camera pans back over to Kain and
Mick.
Kain and Michaeleen, along with Elizabeth, as okay. Now from the rock, you want to go exactly in the opposite direction he's looking. She kind of points out, and you see like the rough face shape where the moss is kind of forming her scraggly beard and things.
Mm.
Want to go about that way, and then turn hard right. When you get towards the end, but don't go too far, or you might fall all into the lake.
Okay.
You proceed to continue on pathing and stuff. Quick acrobatics check. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. And so acrobatics check. You make it to the end of the thing, and the pathway you are taking is quickly running out because it's like a sheer cliff.
Okay, I'm going to stop it in the canopy of the tree and kind of look out along the cliff. Where do we go from here?
Okay. So the edge of the cliff line and stuff, you kind of follow the edge of the cliff line, and you see it kind of follows the tree lines into past, and there's a big rock that's sitting directly on the cliff line. Oh, my camera isn't on. So you have the cliffside right here. It's kind of snaking along to the side and stuff, and you look to the right, and you kind of see it snake along for maybe about an additional 40 yards. But you see a big rock that's kind of sitting directly on the cliff line with a bit of a stream going down the other side of it, and the pathway kind of ropes around it. There. Follow that path line there, and there's a small bridge. There's an old log and stuff that leads into her grove. And as you see it and stuff, you most suddenly, your tattoo is kind of starting to
pulse
a little bit.
Do I feel anything in here?
You feel light magic. Put this way.
So I feel very uncomfy right now.
Yeah, just the sheer volume of life. You feel that there's a
imagine it as like
a lot of living stuff.
Okay, imagine that you are a rock in the middle of a river, and all of this light magic is like a river flowing, and it's being pushed around you, and it's like crashing against you. But you feel it, but it's more like just somewhat of a resistance. Like you're so powerful with your dark energy, you're literally like a rock in a rapid.
Yes, I think that's a really good explanation and stuff. So you guys proceed to make it down there, and you enter in. And Michaeleen, you enter in and stuff, and you just feel like all of a sudden just a very deep pulse of life and everything. Your tattoo is like almost humming at this point. Like you can almost feel vibrating in your chest.
Can we also say that it's somewhat because it's a tree of life that has a sprawling root system. Can we say that the root system is sort of creeping down his arms slowly?
Well, if it's right here, that means it has the roots have to go down to the side and then around. It would be more so kind of trickling down his side.
Probably, yeah.
But this way, we can say that's happening down, but some of the branches are kind of starting to peek over to your shoulder.
Oh, so then it would have like leaves and stuff on it.
So the branches would basically go across the shoulder here, and then vines would start coming down.
Well, that's certainly new.
As you kind of peek underneath, you take a look at it.
The darkness in my body's reaction is to just burn more.
Well, Actually, to put simply, with the rock mentality, your character goes from being a rock in a rapids to a rock in the bottom of a lake. You're just smothered with it. It's like it feels like you are having difficulty breathing, but you're not.
That's what I was saying. He's
Yeah.
like, it starts pushing against it.
The best you can, but it seems to be smothered. As you proceed to walk in, you see that this is a massive grove of various trees and plant life, much more diverse than what you were seeing previously, with a massive willow tree. This thing has to be like an easy 80 to maybe 90 feet high. Big honking trunk. With the branches almost forming like a makeshift house. Just naturally with the branches drooping down to a pond. There's a small creek flowing through it, and you see a degree of guard. Like, there's most certainly the plants have been tended to, but it's almost like a natural garden where wherever the plants come up, that's where they come up and stuff. They're just tended to with pathways and things like that. So, as you walk in and stuff, and what you're seeing and stuff, this is a massive like grove surrounded by rocks with various things. You are near a hill or like the foot of a mountain, kind of leading in. And you guys have traveled maybe about like half a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile away from the palace relatively quickly. And stuff again, kind of speeding things up a little bit. Anyway, you proceed to in. There is a massive, like 90-foot tall willow and stuff with the branches arcing over, almost making a degree of a house and stuff, but there's no like buildings or anything in this place. There are small pathways made, natural pathways made, with various plants being grown. There's just a massive variety of life. You can easily see various animals, deers, things of that nature, and see various small things.
This is like being in this place and with it resonating with my tattoo. This is like me getting antidepressants.
Very much so. Very strong.
Mick feels like fantastic here.
So I kind of wanted to say just ask something. Like where I'm stepping is like things dying underfoot.
More like going into a sort of hibernatic state. You know how like grass and other plants sort of like go into sort of like a duller state during the winter time?
Yeah.
Probably something like that, and it slowly grows back to normal. Like as you're taking steps, you're like leaving footprints of these, but as you're going forward, it's slowly returning back to what it once was.
Okay.
Is that a good way to describe it, Mr. DM?
Yeah, that's a good way to describe that.
It's almost like your footprints are leaving echoes.
Yeah. Anyway, so Michaeleen, roll me a quick perception check, real quick.
One perception check. Coming right up. That is a 19 plus 4, so that is 23.
23. You notice a menagerie of what looks like to be giant flowers, but then you realize those are not flowers. Those are dragons. New book I got, and I'm using it, of course. You notice a few azalea dragons.
Can you show that a little closer?
Ooh.
It's a flower.
Is a flower dragon.
I'm guessing you like me.
Mercy immediately jumps off my shoulders and skitters over to.
I'm not done yet. There's a few more.
Oh.
So you notice about a small clutch, herd, flock, whatever. I don't know the correct terminology of these guys resting on the vines of the willow tree itself. These are jade vine dragons. They are very small, like the size of bats, maxing out between like 4 to 10 inches.
So they're like terrible terrors from How to Train Your Dragon.
No, those are like dog sized. This is like bat sized.
Bat sized.
Terrible terrors are bat sized.
You know, two of these guys.
Well, in the books they are, but in the movies, they're dog sized.
All
Anyway,
right.
you notice two of these kind of chilling next to the creek. And then you also see a great number of giant bees and stuff kind of fluttering around. And
Man, we need to kill some shit soon.
they vary from like very tiny size and stuff to yay big to like yayish big. Like house cat sized, but much fluffier. Floating around this place. As you're looking around and stuff, you look back towards you look towards the willow tree, you see the jade vine guard. As you look down, you do see as you look back towards the willow tree, looking at the jade vine dragons, the small clutch of them there, you notice that there seems to be a somewhat elderly woman, or slightly elderly, we can't tell from here, kind of standing right on the edge and stuff, kind of giving those two larger, like the Venus flytrap dragons, degrees of like little neck scratchies and stuff, and kind of getting what looks like to be a bucket of water or something, while filling a watering tin.
Seeing her and knowing that she's it's almost like Michaeleen finally found a long lost member of his family at this point, especially with how his tattoo is resonating in this area. He feels like he's found
home.
Not home. Grandma's house.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really say anything, but he does take out his caval, made of the same wood that Milia's tree was made of.
As you pull it out, you see that they're almost like the bark lines and the grain of the wood and stuff are almost kind of, you see little bits of green light kind of going from one end to the other, kind of as you almost see like magic is flowing through it. As you're looking at it, all of a sudden you see it kind of warp and change around and change shape.
Is this finally where Michaeleen gets the ability to change his flute to different instruments?
As it morphs and shifts, you almost feel like a motion from your flute for the first time, and it feels happy. So it switches to a much lighter shape itself, and you're kind of curious to see what it sounds like. And when you blow into it, it's much lighter and happier than previously. You see the elderly. Anyway, as you kind of stop playing it,
fire.
One of the like Venus flytrap dragons kind of turns its head kind of curiously towards the new sound, and then you just hear a chuckle from her. It's been a while since I've had guests at Spy, but she turns around and looks directly at you. It's glad to finally meet you, Michaeleen.
Is she saying this in Sylvan?
No, common tongue. She knows
Acknowledge the fucking monstrosity.
The massive demon man.
I'm trying to leave on a warm and happy note, damn it!
Come on! I don't want to wait a whole another week for this.
I'm sorry.
I want to see her reaction to me. Fuck warm and happy.
And
Okay.
I got
After credit
get up
scene,
early
it comes
tomorrow.
back and she looks over at Kain and she just sort of like, whoa, oh my.
See. Okay, here, I'll sound like this. Okay. She just kind of looks up and looks at you and stuff in common tongue and very much elderly grandma voice. It's nice to finally meet you, Michaeleen. And she kind of like leans her head ever so slightly to the side, looking past you. And friends, apparently. And friends.